Oh, man. Hammy.
That's very round 5-ish of you.
No.
Forward.
Oh.
Oop. Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Rugby League Outlaws, brought to you by no one.
Get straight into it, Terry.
Dan, straight into it. I don't really want to talk about him. You've done all the heavy lifting here. I actually think I am going to go on a rant.
Please, mate, it's all yours. Those that haven't seen, Fins Up. I dropped a special solo podcast.
Yeah.
It just didn't line up. And I also wrote an article that everyone please check out. Terry hasn't had his say yet, so go on.
Useless. That's all I can say about that whole thing was useless, right? But I get why some people are saying that, oh, look, there's some positives to take out of it, and there really were, because the second half was a lot better than the first half for 39 minutes and 50 seconds, right? We repelled the Raiders. We really repelled the Raiders. But let's just take into account the last 7 plays of that game. Mm-hmm. Braden Trindle, all he had to do was pass the ball, and Billy Burns scores, and we're sitting here saying it's a 26-18 victory. Instead, he gets tackled with the ball. Now, I was watching the game. I was commentating the game with Sam from Wobble and Jaw Sports. Please go and check it out, because my reaction to that game is just unbelievable.
Made it almost worth it.
And I said to Sam, I go, it's actually not bad. I go, you should have passed the ball. It's not bad. They're 4 metres away from their own try line. They've got 96 metres to do. All Cronulla have to do is defend.
Yep.
No one, Cam McInnes wasn't on the field, right? No one got the defensive line and said, just hold your position. Hold it for 6 tackles. Mm-hmm. When the 5th tackle came up, Billy Burns ran out, and I'm not slagging Billy Burns here because he actually played really well, but he ran out of his position to try and put kick pressure on Jamal Fogarty, thinking that Fogarty was going to put up a sky-high bomb that he had been putting him up all night. Mm-hmm. Instead, they ran the ball. You had to know that they were going to have a trick shot at us, because that bomb wasn't going to work. There wasn't long enough for them to, just hit and hope, right? They had to throw a Hail Mary, and they did. All we had to do was just hold the line and force Fogarty to kick. Yep. Instead,
allow him to kick.
We ran out of position, watched them go one side of the field to the other, watched Xavier Savage come back, and there was no one there.
Yeah, there were 5 Canberra players to our 1 defender.
Yeah, and this is the thing, I'm not big on Cam McInnes, but I have to believe in myself that he was still on the field. Now, he got injured because it's very uncustomary for him to come off with 8 minutes to go in the game, for Tom Hazelton of all people.
Yeah, I think he got the head knock.
Yeah, so I can't believe for a second that we can see that try with McInnes on the field, because he literally would have just held everybody into that spot. Yep. How do you not know that that's coming? How is there no one taking... And does this fall to Nico? Does this fall to Aden Fanua-Blake? Does this fall to Will Kennedy at the back yelling at everyone to hold? Where does the onus... Does this go to Britt Nickera saying, hey, Billy, why are you standing next to me? Is it Blake Brayley? Who's got the leadership in this club?
Who's the captain when McInnes goes off?
Well, we don't know.
Well, whoever it is, that's who it's on.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't have come
down. It was Dale Finucane.
It shouldn't have come down to one play.
It shouldn't.
Now, I was harsh on the night about Trindle, because... He
had a shocker, second week in a row.
He was awful, but that last play specifically, Billy Burns was screaming for the ball, and... it was a try. There was a try. There was 2 of them, there were 3 of us. It would have taken a Chad Townsend-esque nothing.
No, but Burns was in untouched. Yeah, he strolled through that.
I liked the fact he didn't kick, because no 7 tackles. But if he hits Billy Burns is brought down 2 metres out, whatever, in the corner. You run to the corner. But...
Burns scores.
Even if he doesn't, 96 metres with 1 set of 6 should be enough. Mm-hmm. You should defend that. And I didn't feel like Cronulla needed to defend that. I felt like Canberra needed to score. 2 weeks in a row. You said it. If you need to beat Cronulla, if you beat Cronulla, you out-enthuse them. How does a team who have been told, you guys are almost premiership favourites. Penrith has started like crap. Melbourne are, lost to the Dragons. Brisbane are up and down and, we're in trouble against the Tigers. It's there for the taking. And you can't get up after a loss in Canberra Are you kidding me? That's a game Cronulla should have won 3 times over. And no disrespect to Canberra, we made a mistake putting them as low as we did. Their middle 3 are humongous.
You made the mistake.
Well, I'm happy to cop that. I still don't know. KO Weeks didn't have the game we thought he would. Ethan Sanders barely did anything. Ethan Strange, rather. Yeah. There you go. Didn't do anything. Jamal Fogarty put a few kicks up. Sam Stonestreet has got this thing where he goes up and try an AFL mark, which is fine when you're 5 metres out from each side. But he's doing it 25 metres out. I don't know who taught him that, but stop it. Yeah. All the good fullbacks go up and catch it on their chest.
I mean, we've been saying this now. Whatever Cronulla's coaching is, it needs to stop of these wingers screaming in, running and jumping like kamikaze. You did. I watched every game on the weekend. No other winger did that. It's not one winger.
It has to be coached. Now, of course, the humorous one, which almost killed me, Sam Stone. Remember when Lance Thompson fell over and headbutted the ball when he was playing for the Dragons? That's what Stonestreet did. He ran out and he Honda threw himself at the ball and copped it in the back of his head, and they scored. That's okay. Now, I thought Stonestreet otherwise was pretty good. But when you run and launch yourself at the ball with no intent to catch it, what do you think's going to happen? That's all people are going to remember. There is no defending that. Run up, realise you're not going to get it, take a step back, ball bounces over your head, you get it, it bounces up, you jump, bounces back, we got 15 players in a line. What was he thinking? It's not just that, it happened all night.
Yeah, that one, that was the cleanest hit of a ball that Fogarty got all night as well.
Yes.
And again, I don't know why they've been coached to do that, but the minute that ball went up in the air, Stonestreet should have just went, nah.
Yeah, nah. Just take 5 steps back and deal with whatever
Stay
happens.
where he was.
Yeah.
And he should have said, the same thing he should have said to Kennedy was, no. And Kennedy should have gone to Ronaldo and went, nah. And the 3 of them should have just been ready for wherever that ball was going to bounce.
It would have been fine.
There's my thing at the club is I have a look at the team list. There are not too many teams that can out-talent Cronulla.
Nope.
There's Melbourne, there's Penrith, but they're in a bit of a lull.
Yeah. Maybe Brisbane.
Right? And that's why we had Cronulla in the top 4 with Brisbane. But the teams that have beat us, Canberra, Penrith, and the Dogs have played more enthusiastic. They've wanted the ball more.
Yeah, they have.
They have wanted the ball more. They have wanted the big play more. They have wanted the opportunity more. Whereas Cronulla have just gone, oh, if you're going to do it, do it.
Yeah, we're gonna
There's no backbone. Right? We got Adam Fanua-Blake in, and no one's gone with him. No one has stepped up.
He's been tremendous.
Tremendous. He has got more post-contact meters than Oregon Kaufusi has total running meters.
Yeah.
He had more post-contact meters than every single Cronulla forward, bar Tom Hazelton and who else?
Cam
and Cam McInnes ran for 100 meters. He had 99 post-contact meters.
It's ridiculous.
No one has stepped up with him, and it's getting to a point now where it's like, right, let's release a couple of players.
The coaching has really come in the last few weeks. Now, you and I are unashamed fans of Fitzgibbon. I had someone come in and go, I don't know what your agenda is, but Fitzgibbon's a top 5 coach. Mate, you're not going to find bigger fans of his. But over the last few weeks, it's been terrible. We were going nowhere. Huge Tukes came on and was best forward on the park for about 5 minutes.
Yeah,
every time he ran the ball, and then he gets hooked because he can't play more than 17 minutes. It seems to be like, oh, you're halfway through a run, offload it and get off.
Yeah.
You can't pick players like that.
And the thing as well is when Tukes came off, he sprinted off.
Yeah, he wasn't.
He didn't look gassed.
No, that was a prearranged thing.
That was stupid.
Toby Rudolph came on and did 3 fifths of nothing. I don't know whether he's the one. Fitz again keeps blaming sickness. You can't do that 4 weeks after the fact. But okay, maybe he was sick. That's fine. You put Daniel Atkinson on, who plays as a lock for 20 minutes.
I thought he was good.
He was fine. But we have arguably the best lock in New South Wales Cup in Hoheipuru, who was one of about 3 players that can hold their head high in Newtown's embarrassing loss on the weekend, who is a lock who can play that role. I think the coaching is rightly under a microscope.
Yep.
I'm definitely not calling for him to be sacked like some of the comments were. And can you blame him?
No.
Look at the mistakes that are being made. Look at the lack of enthusiasm. That's on the coach. We had, I think it was 25 more tackles in the Wolfpack red zone and scored a fluke try. Hiroti just burnt Timoko, and I can't even remember the third. Oh, the third one was Nikora with his 4 kicks. And the other one
that was the fluke try.
And that was the one where where Trindle passed the ball and ran back because he knew there was another play coming, and he just scored. But Britt Nikora, second half, may not have just been out there.
Yeah.
There's just a lack of, we got to win this game. Nico Hines didn't run the ball once this week. He jogged up to the line and submitted 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
Sam Stonestreet didn't hit the line. He turned backwards and pedalled backwards. What the hell? Who's coaching this crap?
I still believe in Fitz, but I think it's time to clean out the assistant coaches and everything around it.
There has to be someone who comes in with fresh ideas, because this isn't working. Now, there's every chance we go out and blow Manly off the park this week. They're injured. They're on a short turnaround. But again, in 3 weeks' time, we run into a team who wants it more. They beat us. We're sitting here yelling at the bloody TV screen. Very, very frustrating week. And Newtown usually saved my weekend.
We're not going to talk about Newtown. You know who did save the weekend? Not Flegg. They got Flegg
won.
Flegg won and SG Ball won.
They did. It wasn't a great weekend for the Sharks. This week, Newtown travel to New Zealand, which is going to be difficult.
Because New Zealand top of the comp.
And all our players are going to Perth. So
Hepapura has to play this week. That's all I'm going to say.
Terry,
talk to me, Dan.
We had a crackdown this week. Now, we heard during the week, again, as everything happens after we recorded, where the NRL said, any high contact, going to be a penalty. And probably a sin bin.
Mm-hmm.
Looking at it in retrospect, how do you think the crackdown went?
Well, here's the thing, right? This is the problem that I have at the moment, and I got this rant out on Wobble and Jaw Sports. Again, please go and have a look at the halftime rant that Sam allowed me to have. There's no communication from the NRL anymore. Mm-hmm. Right, now, you didn't like the Graham Annesley Monday referee mistakes.
True.
But I feel we need to bring them back. Right?
Yeah, maybe.
But not talking about the mistakes, just talking about what we're looking for this week, right? So there's literally no communication from the NRL whatsoever. Then you get Buzz Rothfield, who went to the pub on Wednesday, got blind drunk, went on NRL 360, slurred his words, and made up a story that went, the NRL has come out and said that any contact to the head is going to be a sin bin. Yep. And Andrew Abdo called up the show and went, no, that's not true. That's not true, yeah. That's not happening.
Just quietly, did you read the article that was printed earlier where the NRL are asking 360 and that to send what they say?
Yeah.
They don't censor us. We can say anything we want.
We can say what we want.
And we will.
But, so what, like the thing is Andrew Abdo's gone on and said that, but then he at the same time he said there are a couple of decisions that should have gone to the sin bin.
Yep.
Right, now...
As we said.
As we said, now obviously he's talking about the Reed Marnie one, and there was another one that
Jerome Luai.
Yeah, Jerome Luai. So with that in mind, the crackdown this weekend, I thought was okay.
I thought they nailed it,
except the Cronulla game.
Go on.
Right now, the Hudson Young sin bin on Cam McInnes. Mm-hmm. At the time, I thought, Bit of a bad. When he first ran into him, I said, Cam McInnes has actually run into Hudson Young here. I feel that's a little bit of a harsh sin bin. Yep. Then you see the other angle and you're like, actually, Hudson Young turned his shoulder, right? So rightly sin binned him. And then Hudson Young comes back from the sin bin and Sammy Sasungi hits someone worse. And they didn't bin him.
No, I think it was if he hadn't been binned, he would have been binned.
Yeah, but that's not how you have to... No. Remember when they ruined Magic Round? Yeah. Which I actually said was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was magic. Yeah.
It was, But you can sin bin someone... You can sin bin 2 players from a team in one game. That's okay.
Yes.
As long as they are binnable offences. Both of those were binnable offences. Sammy Sasungi's was worse than Hudson Young's. Mm-hmm. And yet Hudson Young went to the bin and he had every right to look confused because on the first... I was like, I didn't think it was. Yeah. Right? So this crackdown, I thought they got 90% of it correct. Yep. What about you?
I was more, as soon as there was a high tackle in the Cronulla game, everyone went, here we go.
Because it was the first game.
Yeah, and then there were mitigating factors.
Yeah.
You found that anytime someone fell, that it wasn't an automatic sin bin, or there wasn't, I think it was moderate force was what they kept using. No mitigating factors. You're on report, you're in the bin. Yeah. That's the process they went through. I think looking at them, there was maybe 1 or 2 they could have been. I'm glad they didn't. I thought they nailed it pretty much to perfection. I was worried that we were going to see 15 sin bins in the first few games, then an overcorrection at the end. Didn't happen.
So there were 8 sin bins in total on the weekend, and 2 of them were for foul play. So sorry, 2 of them were for professional fouls.
Yeah, which is
the Phoenix Crossland trip, and there was the Tiger Stafford toe.
Yeah, which was completely fair.
Yeah, completely fair. And then the 6 high shots, I think there maybe could have been 8.
Yeah, that's fair. I think they did pretty well.
I think they did.
We didn't see players lay down. A lot of the sin bins came 3 or 4 tackles after as they looked at it too.
Yeah, you know what? There was one that I really took issue from, Marcelo Montoya. He laid down for a penalty in the Dogs Knights game. That really irked me because it was like soft as, and Ashley Klein fell for it.
And I know I went to tweet it and I saw that you already did, so I didn't bother. There are instances where 3 or 4 sets later, you're high, you're in the sin bin, you don't get the ball. When last year, Britt Nickera, anyone that doesn't know that story. Yeah. So it's 4th tackle. Sharks against Dogs last year at Shark Park, round 3. Sharks win 25-6. It's 0-0 at the time. And Britt Nickera hits Viliami kick out in front of Dan and I, and we both looked at each other and went, oof. Play on. Nothing happened.
Play on. Burton puts in a kick. Nice. Cronulla get the ball. Will Kennedy catches it. Tackle 1. Whoever else, Sifatalakai has the hit up. Tackle 2. Ronaldo has the tackle 3. Hold on. We stopped the game. We're going back. There was a high shot back over here. We're penalising you. We're putting you on report. We're binning you, and the Dogs get the ball back. Do you know what didn't happen in that time? The time didn't go back on the clock. So the Dogs got the ball back in the set with the time that had already gone down and a player in the bin.
Yeah, well, that should have happened this week. I think it was the Titans game.
There was one in the Broncos game.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, and I'm expecting the ball, and Vossi's yelled like they haven't got the ball.
They haven't got the ball.
And we're like, hold on, that goes. Anyways, apart from that, I thought they nailed it. But there's one thing that has just forward passes. I'm getting pretty sick of it.
Right, the Latrell Mitchell pass, I was okay with, because he was running across the field. That was momentum. That's physics.
Yep.
But the Selwyn Cobbo to Billy Walters was about 9 metres forward. Yeah. That was a shocker.
Was that the one that they got bailed out on because there was a foot on the line, or was that something else?
Oh, no, they scored.
Yeah, there was something else this week where it was the most forward pass of all time. And I think it was the Dragons game. It was the Dragons game. And Tyrell Sloan was out by about and they go, he's out. If that try had been allowed to stand, that would have won the game. They would have been out by 8 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
It was so forward. And everyone in the world blew up, except the referees. Then, in the Dogs game, clear knock on. Kiraz knocks the ball a couple metres forward. Ashley Klein's you to me away, right in line, says it's a try. Then they go back and take one look, and it's obviously going forward. There has to be you know what? I know we said we can't rule on forward passes, but if it looks obviously we need to rule this out forward, change the rule.
Semi-automated technology is what they use in Italy.
Just look at the...
It's what they use in Italy to detect... Now, if anyone hasn't watched the Serie A, right, or Serie A, as you want to call it, don't, because it's a shocking league of football. But I just hope that you watch a game and you get an offside in there, because they put a blue line across from when the guy kicks the ball. What they do is they evaporate all the defenders and all the attackers, and they just show the guy kicking the ball, and then they put a line to the last defender, and it shows if there's an offside or not, and if it goes to the player, it's an offside. They could easily do this semi-automated technology.
It shouldn't take that long, but I would argue that if it looks really, really forward, it should be adjudicated as such, which...
The problem is the referees just won't make the call. So with Liam Kennedy, you could hear him turn around and he awarded it. The Tigers players came and said it was forward. He said, no, Touchy said it was fine.
Yeah.
Bruv, you were looking at it.
Yeah, true. But all this referee nonsense, and I understand. This coach is going in and immediately hitting the refs. Ricky Stewart had just seen his team score one of the tries of the century.
Yep.
To beat Cronulla on the bell at home. And the first thing he did was complain about an obvious sin bin. We had Des Hasler go in and talk with his monotone voice and his handsome hair, and he gets very serious. And he talks about something that happened in the first minute, not the fact his team were absolute dog shit for 79 minutes after, but this one decision in the first minute. Again, there was an obvious sin bin. He goes, I don't know what a sin bin is anymore. And then Ricky Stewart has a go at Todd Smith going, I hope I can talk the guy up. I hope I can give him a rap. Because, Terry, as long as I say, geez, I like your glasses, but you're a piece of shit and I hate you and you smell bad, but your glasses are really good, it's all good. He should be fined 10 grand for being a cat, and they should stop complaining about this shit when there's 79 minutes to win the game. I'm so sick of it.
I showered.
Leave this... Well, yeah, you actually smell really nice. It was an example. Leave that stuff to idiots like us. Go in and bag your players.
Yeah, I
Des.
I think the thing, and this comes back to the whole, well, we don't get that Monday accountability, right? You don't get...
Do they not get that, though?
No, and it's quite obvious, because if you actually listen to Ricky Stewart's... If you listen to the message that he gets out there, he, apart from the fact that he's, going over the top and he can be a bit whingy, he's actually said in a couple of his press conferences, well, I'm going off because I don't know, right? And he said there's no communication, and this is what I was talking about. The NRL aren't releasing it to the fans, so there's nowhere they're releasing it to the coaches or the players, because that would get leaked.
There has to be an email.
That would get leaked like a 1986 oil line on a car. You know, if the NRL released something and Ricky Stewart didn't like it, he would go straight to Crawley.
Straight to his mate.
Straight to Crawley. If Cronulla got something they didn't like, Riccio would be writing a report about that. If Penrith got it, you'd have that germ in the Western Weekend, or what's his name? Peter Lang.
Curly
Lang or whatever his name is. So every club has their journo that they go to. So I fully believe that there is nothing being sent out, and that's why you get coaches in there going, well, yeah, we won, but can you explain this to me?
Yeah.
Or, yeah, we lost because of this rule over here, and then you get the people going, oh no, but that rule's correct. Oh yeah, we don't know about it.
Yeah, amateur hour from the NRL. Pretty bad. Speaking of amateur hour, after we were told, not 3 weeks ago, that the Perth bid was going to be approved, this week, because they're going to Perth and they've got a big announcement, now they're going to pull the pin and say no. Is it a money thing? Because PNG have no money, we're giving them money. I don't know what is going on here, but...
The NRL and the Perth, it's like a toxic relationship at the moment.
Yeah, it's not
They
good.
just can't get it together.
No. 3 times it's been released that Perth are going to be... They're in.
Yeah.
The Perth Bears are in. And then we heard, no, it's going to be the Perth Jets. And all the Jets fans celebrated. No, it's going to be the Bears again. And now it's like, you know what? We think we're going to walk away. Okay, so release that. Walk away.
The Western Australian government are doing something that the NRL don't like.
What, thinking
themselves? Oh, yeah, probably putting in a smart bid that can help them make money. But...
Money.
Yeah, I just... There's got to be something like... For an expansion bid, and I haven't seen a complete document of it, but for an expansion bid, you have to tick like 91% of the boxes.
Makes sense,
right? Yeah. And there has to be something that the Perth government aren't budging on.
Yeah.
And there has to be something, and it's probably due to the broadcast.
Yeah.
And there would have to be something that the NRL are saying, well, this is it, and Perth are saying no. Now, if you want a team, just tick yes and fight later.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Just get in.
Like, if you really want to be like Perth, we know you're watching.
All of you.
If you really want this bid, just tick yes, sponsor us, and we'll fight for you later.
Done. Consider it done. We'll be better than whoever's running the thing.
Yeah.
What a joke.
What an absolute joke.
This is the easiest decision in the world. Anyways, I don't want to talk about it because I have a feeling we're going to be arguing about this next bit. Again, Nico Hines, the wet-haired prince, myself included, everyone's bagged this bloke all week. Thought he was terrible on Thursday night. But, fast forward, Manly have $1 million halfback, got played off the park.
Penrith have $1 million halfback, best halfback in the game, played off the park.
Couldn't have him win a game in over a month. It was what, 4, 6, no, it was 2-0. The Bulldogs were leading 2-0. They had like 90 plays. Toby Sexton couldn't set anything up, and then it took a kick and a drop ball. I don't think he's the only halfback playing below par, but if you listen to the fans on Facebook and in the media, he certainly is.
Well, a lot of people seem to think that this will be sorted with Nico having the 6 on his back. I don't think it matters the number on the back. And I said, name him in 21 and name Trindle at 20 this week.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
And then you won't know who's playing what.
Yeah, good point.
To me, it just literally comes down to a confidence thing. I think maybe the injury last year, that ankle, ever since he's come back from that, his running game's been a bit soft. He can't kick past his shadow.
No, he's
a couple of bombs that Canberra scored a try off it. He put up a kick that literally landed on the 35-metre line, and KO Weeks got tackled 45 metres out from his own line. Canberra go down and score. It was a shocking kick.
It was.
The majority, and the other thing as well is that short side kick that we do, it don't fool anyone.
No, well, everyone's had 6 months to look at it.
Everyone's had 3 seasons to look at it.
But it's
I don't want to bag him because, like, some of the times he takes the line on, you think, oh, it's okay, but no one's with him. No. It's the same thing as we say with AFB. He's running to the line. He's the biggest human on the park. And no one's support playing him. Like Will Kennedy is... I love Will. I really do. But I'm getting to a point now where it's not what he's doing off the ball. I used to have a big issue with his defence and his defusal of kicks, but you can't have an issue with his defusal of kicks. And some of the defensive decisions that he has to make is because we've got awful 12 people in front of him. It's like blaming your goalkeeper for conceding a penalty. But his support play... And Will Kennedy in attack, there's no point. There's literally no point to him. So all these people are going, oh, Nico this, Nico that. Going into this round, Nico was second in try assists and first in line break assists. What more do you want from him? Well,
the thing is that we saw Adam Reynolds was playing pretty well, but he's injured again.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
but he's on nearly $1 million.
Yeah, Lachlan Ilias was diabolical.
Mm-hmm.
Cherry Evans, as we mentioned, we saw earlier tonight as we record, Toby Sexton did not. Jack Cogger might not have, he wouldn't have been on the thing. Callum Ponga was awful. He's the biggest downhill skier in the game. Get that crack in. Mm-hmm. But everything's Nico Hines this, Nico Hines that.
Yeah, there's going to not be one article about how bad Ponga was last night.
I just think he's been made a scapegoat. And don't get me wrong, I think he deserves it this week. Mm-hmm. I had a big rant on Fins Up. Please check it out.
Mm-hmm. I will.
And I think it's justified. I don't think he was good. But I also don't think he's been terrible all season.
Nope.
Right now, you probably can't name 5 halfbacks that are in better form. I think that's an indictment on the halfbacks in the competition because Luke Metcalf's played, 2 good games out of 4 and everyone's talking him up. He had 2 games where he touched the ball like 4 times a half.
Yeah.
Dylan Brown's playing disgustingly.
After week 1 of Las Vegas, Warriors fans are going, I don't think Metcalf's it.
Yeah, and now he's the media darling and I love Metcalf. We go way back. We were watching him in flag. All I'm saying is that, Nico's a little bit down, but it seems to be that if he has a game where he has 2 try assists, everyone's like, this guy sucks. Jack Cogger does 1 good kick. Geez, Cogger's playing well. Because whether it's a money thing, whether he's just a scapegoat thing, whether it's Cronulla can't protect him, I don't know what it is, but I'm going to go back, I'm going to message Scott when I finish this, and I'm going to write a halfback hit piece. And I'm going to hit 5 or 6 of them. I guarantee you Hines is the one that gets all... Every argument I have on Twitter, well, Nico sucks. Okay, maybe he does. Doesn't mean your halfback's any better. Literally everyone.
And just quickly, you don't know about this. So the Dogs, I just want to give a quick shout out to the Dogs. 5-0, they got a bye this week as well, so they're still going to be top of the table. Only team undefeated going into week 7. Congratulations. You guys are awesome.
It's good. It's fun.
And watching the defence in the last 2 weeks, they've scored 20 points. Mm-hmm. They've conceded 6.
Well, big game.
Yeah.
Friday week.
They are the best drilled team in the competition, and I am envious of that.
Yeah, good on
Discipline, defence. I guarantee you this year that if the Dogs are winning a game 20-18 with 2 minutes to go and they've pinned the opposition down 4 metres out from the line, that they will not concede a Hail Mary. The Melbourne Storm, though. We're bringing back What's Annoying Terry. You're going to write a song about What's Annoying Terry.
Consider it done.
Because at 48 points to 14, Melbourne got a penalty, 10 out right in front, and they didn't take the 2. You could have ended Manly's season then and there. Manly live to fight another day. Melbourne, be better. Because I'm glad you conceded those 14 points afterwards, or 10 points, whatever it was. Be better. End a season when you can end the season. And end it then and there. I'm annoyed. Dan.
Talk to me, Terry.
It's time for Terry's Tips.
Yay! We're bringing it back.
We're looking for a sponsor here.
Yeah,
we really are.
Tip us.
Yeah, something.
Speaking of tipping.
Speaking of tipping, now I haven't updated the ladder, but I have a feeling you're doing really well this year.
I am. It's good.
I still want my steak from last year, though.
Completely fair.
So we're starting Thursday night. The Dolphins are, this is not the team you want to be coming up against. But the Dolphins are hosting the Panthers.
I certainly are. There's talks that Dylan Edwards just might be back. Maybe not, but
Maybe
I
not.
think, dare I say they need him back?
They need something.
They do.
They need Jerome Luai back.
Yeah, they certainly do. Tell you what, though, if that
Blaze
Casey
Talangi?
McLean,
Yeah,
or
Casey.
if he passes that ball, he scores untouched, and they're celebrating a win. I'm glad it didn't happen, but typically.
Look, there were two things that happened on the weekend. I know we're going off a tangent here, but when Cronulla took the 2, Sam asked me, are you happy with the 2? And I said, well, if we lose 24-20, I won't be.
Yep.
And we lost 24-20.
Yeah, well, there you go.
And it was also when they didn't pass the ball, I looked at my dad and I said, well, if they don't score another try, you'll be absolutely raging. They didn't score another try. So absolutely raging on this one.
You reckon the Dolphins go 2 in a row?
No, I don't. I don't think Penrith can lose 5 in a row or whatever it is. I think.
You know what? I'm going to go the Dolphins.
Yes.
Come on.
Please. I'm going to tip Penrith on this one.
Strive for 5.
Yeah.
Losses.
Now, if ever there was a 6 o'clock Friday game, it was this. The Dragons are hosting the Titans. And once again, you can't get a read on the Titans.
No, they're hitting random.
Yeah. There was a betting company that had odds for the Titans to win, Philip Sammy to score a try, and AJ Brimson to score a try. And I was like, oh, that's money for jam, that. So AJ Brimson gets the try, Philip Sammy gets the try.
The Titans lose.
The Titans lose by 100.
Yeah, I had a bonus bet and I wasted on the Titans. And I shan't be tipping them this week, even though they're playing the Dragons. Clint Gustin gets them home.
Well, I'll take the Titans.
Sweet.
Broncos Roosters on Friday night. I don't care what you say. I'm picking the Broncos.
Yeah, I'm tipping the Broncos.
Any team with Chad Townsend.
Yeah, it is surely time.
Well,
It was his time 4 years ago when Cronulla dropped him and the Cowboys signed him and got 1 half good season out of him and Nerdus and then spent 2 years going, ugh. Now the Roosters didn't even get the good time. They're just saying, ugh. But he did well calling New South Wales Cup. Chad, that's your calling.
Yeah, apparently all the feedback was that he understands the game.
Yeah, he can
see
articulate
what's
well.
happening.
Just can't do.
He knows what, but he just can't execute it, and that's
Broncos.
because he's crap.
Broncos.
Sharks Manly in Perth. Manly.
Yeah, why not?
Manly.
Short turnaround. Ben Travojevic sucks. No turbo. Manly.
Don't make me pick us.
Well, don't then.
You don't tell me what to do. Cronulla.
There you go. Game of the round. In Perth.
Yeah, also in Perth. Souths first, the North
Why are
Queensland
they playing the
Cowboys.
early games in Perth? That's a midday kick, or is it 1 o'clock?
Yeah, it's like a 1 o'clock or a midday kickoff, whatever. Yeah, I don't know. NRL, they know what they're doing. Souths first, Cowboys. Look, South's been really good. Cowboys have been
there or abouts.
There or thereabouts. You know, like the first 2 weeks, you were just like, whoa, they're in a bottom 4. They've sort of come back, beat Penrith.
Turns out that Jackson Purdue can play. He's
awesome.
Who could possibly have predicted that?
Scissors, paper, rock. If you win, you get to pick first. All right.
I'm just going rock, so go paper, so pick first.
You go.
South.
Cowboys. And then the late game.
The main event is in Darwin.
Ew.
Brad Arthur can't drink 80 bottles of water.
Or was it the Diet Coke?
No, it was Waters.
Who's the coach that drinks all the Coke Zeros?
Yeah, I don't know. Let's say Seabold.
Yeah.
He does everything.
Yeah, it could be him. No, he just falls asleep in Macca's. Yeah. Eels versus Raiders. Now, look, Eels, they've got to stop this trip to Darwin, but if ever there's a team that you could take up there, it's not a Queensland-based team this time.
This is smart.
Raiders.
Parramatta.
Sucked in.
I hate you. They can't do that again. Zach Lomax was at about $1.0001 to kick that when it went into Golden Point. It was good to see, but
absolutely it was.
Yay, Para.
Storm versus Warriors. Now the Warriors going pretty good. Had a bye.
Yep.
2 in a row plus the bye. Going all right. They'll, as you do when you come off a bye, you're thinking, right, we get a bye, we get 14 days off. I would love to play Melbourne.
Yep.
Said no one ever.
No, you never want to play Melbourne. Melbourne win this and they win.
Jerome Hughes, man, broken hand and all, just went out there and just.
Did you hear what he said? He said, fortunately or luckily I broke my hand when I was younger, so I knew what to expect. Then he pulled himself up and goes, well, it wasn't fortunate at the time. I like Jerome Hughes.
I love Jerome Hughes. I think he's an outstanding
player. And
player.
Pappenhausen's good. Said he had a cork bottom.
Outstanding player, outstanding servant, Jerome Hughes. He's entertaining,
I don't want to say arse on TV.
and he will be super entertaining when he destroys the Warriors.
Agreed. Speaking of not entertaining.
Yeah, Knights and Tigers. Look, Tigers get Jerome Luai back. Knights
Oh, yay.
get their home stadium back.
That's a plus.
Yeah, I'm going to tip the Tigers.
I'll take Newcastle with zero conviction.
Yeah, I've got no conviction in the Tigers, except I just want to jinx them and hope they lose. Hey everyone, thank you for tuning in to another episode of Rugby League Outlaws. Sponsor us,
Please.
please.